JJ Clavo was a rising high school football star who was murdered 5 years ago. Now the man behind bars for the crime could be walking free soon, but how? We have an update on DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
JJ Clavo was 17 years old. He thrived on family, friends, and football. Outside of the classroom, you'd find him on the football field, playing for Grant Union High School. It was November 13th, 2015. It started off as a normal day.
My son was headed to play in a CIF football game.
JJ was driving his teammates. They were stopped at a busy intersection in broad daylight when someone came charging at them. A teen approached the car, began firing, and unloaded his gun.
We begin tonight with some breaking and very sad news. 2 Grant Union High School football players have been shot, and one of those players is dead.
JJ was hit in the chest and neck and left to die in front of his teammates. Malik Johnson, who was sitting in the passenger seat, was hit in the arm but survived.
That was my baby. That was my 17-year-old. That was my only son.
Months went by without an arrest.
3 months is really relatively a short time in some cases. It's a long time in my world.
I would have never imagined being in this place, but I never imagined having the support.
Then, finally, a break in the case. The day after the shooting, a teen was taken into custody. A weapon was found in his car during a traffic stop, but it wasn't until months later police realized that gun matched the shooting. 15-year-old Kimonte Lindsay was arrested for JJ's murder. Police later learned Kimonte had gang affiliations and was actually targeting Malik, the passenger in JJ's car. The two had gang ties, but JJ was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
I have to stand strong. This is bigger than me. This is bigger than my son.
Nicole Clavo was pushing to try her son's killer as an adult. But because Kimonte was only 15, his mother pleaded for a juvenile sentence. 4 years later, Kimonte was found guilty in court and charged of first-degree murder. He was sentenced as a juvenile, which means in just a few short years, he'll be released back into the world.
Earlier, Al and I actually spoke with JJ's mother, Dr. Clavo. Here's what she had to say. We're joined now by Dr. Nicole Clavo. This is JJ's mother. First of all, thank you so much for being here. I can't even imagine. It's been 5 years since you lost JJ. What have these past few years been like for you?
Ups and downs, of course. You know, it's every day is a new day. You know, we live as mothers who've lost our children. We live 1 second, 1 minute, 1 day at a time. And so every day is a new day.
Oh,
God. JJ's killer was convicted as a juvenile instead of an adult, and so that means that he can just walk in a few years. Because of that, is there still justice in your eyes, and is that justice? Because I don't know about that.
I don't believe that as victims we ever receive justice, because nothing will ever bring our child back. For me, would there have been some satisfaction had he been charged as an adult? Sure.
You continue to honor JJ's legacy and so many others by working with the city's Office of Violence Prevention. Tell me why this is so important to you.
Well, after my son was murdered, one, I believe that as victims, as we are called, we have a choice to either be survivors or victims. I chose to be a survivor, and so I made that decision immediately after my son was murdered. I think it's a choice that we have to make. And I think we have to make it for our own survival. And so with that work, I had such an outpouring amount of support from within the city, as well as surrounding cities, statewide, some national support, that I felt I had to be able to provide that support back to families who were experiencing or would experience the trauma that I had experienced.
Unfortunately, this is a question that I've asked before because I just keep wanting to know how you've managed to not only turn this, I can't even call it a negative, this catastrophic life moment into something where you're working towards positivity. What do you tell yourself every day to make sure that you have you're going to give yourself enough strength to get through just that 24 hours?
Well, we're a happy family. We've always been a happy family, very close knit. And so I have a daughter who was the oldest sibling. And so oftentimes the siblings get left behind. No one truly asks, how are the siblings doing? They always, are you taking care of your mom? How's your mom doing? But they're never asked, how are they doing? And a lot of times, especially in instances like my daughter, she's 6 years older than my son. And so she was like a second parent. And then I also believe that the murderer took my son. I can't allow him to take me from me and my family while I still have to walk amongst the living. Wow. And so while I still have to put one foot forward every day, it's easy to lay in the bed and, put the covers over my head and never get up. That's easy. It is a job, it's a chore, it's a challenge to get up every morning and push forward. That's a challenge.
Not all heroes wear capes. A lot of them are moms. And I just want to wish you the very best. And I wish I could have met JJ. He sounds like an incredible child. And please say hi to your other children. You have really centered your life around that family, and it's the best thing that can happen to them. You can also listen to a brand new episode, podcast episode about JJ's story. Just search True Crime Chronicles on your favorite podcast player. Dr. Clavo, thank you so much for being here and for giving your support and for being a map for some other parents who are going through similar situations. Thanks again. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Doctor.